Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I'm going to show you how I did this mushroom illustration with OHUHU markers and colored pencil. And here are the colors that I used. I also used black, but I didn't put it in at the start. Those are the numbers. And I'm just going over with a kneaded eraser to pick up any of the excess lead that could smudge if I touch it with the markers. The pencil that I used for the initial sketch is called a Prismacolor Color Erase pencil in the color purple. And I'm just starting to color in sections with the G120 color, yellowish green. And I'm trying to avoid touching directly over top of the purple lines so that it doesn't get muddy or smudged. The paper that I'm using is called Canson Mixed Media Paper. I really like using mixed media paper instead of just marker paper. I like how it's thicker, I like the texture of it, and I find that markers blend really well together on it, and yeah, that's just what I always use. I'm just trying to be careful on the face because I did have a lot of blending from the color pencil, and as long as you just kind of dot it on and be careful around certain spots, it should be fine. It's not that big of a deal. After you put a lot of layers of marker on it, it always ends up looking good anyways. And I do always end up putting more than one layer for sure of marker over everything, so it always ends up working out in the end. This G120 color is going to be my base color for both of the mushrooms, so I'm just going to go over both of them with it fully. So now while the paper is still pretty wet, I'm going to go over with the blush color, the YR030 Carmine Red. And I'm just going to try and put it wherever I want really quickly so that I can go over top again with the green, and then it'll blend in really nice. I just go around the edges really quick with the green, and then I'll go over top, and then I'll put the Carmine Red on top again just to brighten the color a little bit, and that's how I tend to blend things in that are so opposite colors like that. Now that I'm done with the shading with the leaf green color, the darker green, I'm gonna go through and do the base for the swirly leafy bits with the Y120 Buttercup Yellow, and that's gonna be my lightest color of yellow. Again, I use the lightest colors for markers for the base, and then I go darker from there. To just outline some shadows and put some nice lines in there, and I'm gonna go over top all of this with color pencil later, so it's gonna look pretty different, but it's just a nice outline so that I know what I'm doing. Now I'm using YR240 Cream. That's kind of a mid-tone color, just to go through and put some more shadows in. I'm just saying all the colors I'm using because I'm using a limited color palette, and I'm just kind of showing how there's sort of a mid-tone or darker and how I start with lighter. I just thought it would be maybe interesting to some people. I'm not really sure. I've never done this before. Here I'm using a color erase pencil in brown to start to do the outline. I really like the brown one because it's super dark and you can erase it. And I'm going over just like the little face details, and I'll go over the whole thing pretty much with the brown because I felt like it needed something. I didn't feel like the two colors were connecting very well. So I thought if I put the brown that it would bring everything together, and I think it looked really good at the end. So yeah. About the Prismacolor color erase pencils is that I can easily blend them with the blending stump over top of the markers. It works out really well, so I tend to use those ones majority of the time. Although I do use a little bit of Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils in this illustration as well, but it was just because I didn't have the exact color I was wanting, which ends up being more difficult because I had to use a blender pencil, which I don't always like, but it did end up looking good after, so it's just a little bit more work. This color here is one of the Polychromos colors. It's just a rusty sort of orange color, and I went over all of the sort of darker areas where I did that Y4 marker color to try and make it look, I want them to look ribbony and shiny. Blender I was talking about, I think it's Derwent. I just go over top of anywhere that I put that Polychromos pencil, There's a bit of a cream colored pencil as well because I wanted to lighten up some parts. And went over top again with some yellow to brighten it. And I just kind of did this the whole time, just to kind of go over top and over top again, and eventually came to the color that I liked and the effect that I liked. And it took a little while. Now I'm going over with the brown again, just to darken any parts that I wanted to be really dark and to do some line work. Now that I'm done with the hard part, I'm gonna go and do the background. So I have to outline with a micron pen, just the smaller bits, the little hard to reach places with a marker, because the marker will soak in too much and it doesn't end up looking as good. So if I'm doing black, I like to take the opportunity to use a really fine tip pen, and then I just fill it back in the larger areas that I can with the black marker. And I will go over it twice. I didn't know I was gonna do black until the end. That's why I didn't put it at the start, actually. Because I wasn't really sure if I was gonna do a background or not, but I couldn't help myself. And I think it came out really well. I really like it. I think they look like they're in space, and that's what I wanted. And I really, really like them. For the final details, I'm just gonna go over with a little white jelly roll of anywhere that I want it to be white and bright and look shiny. So like the eyes, little highlights on the noses, the shine on the ribbony leaf parts. Yeah. Made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This is my first ever YouTube video. I usually make TikTok videos, so I really appreciate it, and I hope you liked it. And if you have any questions, just ask me in the comments, and I hope that you will watch the next one too. Okay, have a great day. Bye.